Hello and welcome to my first podcast. My name Max Rack, and this podcast is about my journey from mediocrity to mastery. You are listening to episode 11. Do you know how to breathe the right way? Thank you for coming back and listening to this episode. If you have listened to any of my previous episodes that resonated with you, please share that episode with 3 friends of you or on any of your social media channels. When you're a first time listener, thank you for finding me, and I will give my best to give you value. Let's go back around 6 months ago. I listened to a podcast by Ryan Niddell, a podcast I listen to daily, and he was talking about the benefits of cold showers and the Wim Hof method. A couple of weeks later, my partner and I started a new daily routine during our Christmas break together. And the cold showers became part of our daily routine. And I believe that they were especially hard for her in the beginning. As we put this routine in every day, it felt very awful at first. You can barely keep your body under the cold water. Like every other change in life, that's very hard to stick to constantly. And I don't want to lie to you here. I had days where I run late and I had to skip certain things of my routine in order to make it to an appointment on time. Do you always have those days? I feel it especially easy to bail on the hard and uncomfortable things I had planned for a certain day on the days I'm running late and I just don't want to get out of my bed. I would like to hear your tricks and tips on how to overcome those days and stick to your routines. So please reach out to me on any of the social media channels you can find in the show notes. Having said that, I know that on the days I couldn't stick to my full morning routine, I felt off. I can feel something is not right. It takes time to get back into my rhythm and feel that I'm in control of my day. And I more strongly feel that when I had skipped on the cold showers. I have thought about why those cold showers could have such a big impact for me for many weeks. I have done a thorough research and found all those fantastic benefits of cold warm therapies and the cold showers in special. But that shall not be the topic of this episode, and I will make an entire episode about the benefits next week, so make sure you are back and listen to it as well. And when I can ask you for a favor until next week, try those cold showers a couple of days until next week, and you will be surely surprised of how many benefits you will have experienced in that short period. Don't do a full cold shower. Just do your normal shower, your normal temperature. Nothing special. Wash your hairs, wash your body. Don't do any fancy changes there. Then for the last minute, maybe 3 minutes, depends on you, the time will also increase when you do it constantly. Start slowly turning the water to cold, little by little. Not too cold, too fast. And you will see it will become easier every single day. But let's get back to the reason why I think those cold showers have such an impact on my day. Do you know those situations where you get totally stressed? Before you have to give a presentation, have a meeting with your superiors, or do anything you haven't done before, you don't believe you are any good in it. That stress is mainly caused by your thoughts, the ants, automatic negative thoughts we have of the outcome of a certain situation. But in the case of the cold shower, our body reacts on the changed situation of the sudden cold I have started to pay close attention to my breath while I'm turning the water colder and colder, and I have made one very interesting observation. The way I breathe changed depending on how comfortable I feel during the special moment. When I slowly turned the water to cold and the difference wasn't very big, I noticed that my breath barely changed at all. I kept breathing in and out in my normal rhythm. But on the other hand, as soon as the water got colder in higher increments, and due to the colder water, I felt very uncomfortable. I caught myself changing my breath enormously. I stopped breathing in deeply and out just a little longer as in. All of a sudden, I started to breathe very short, very shallow breath. Have you ever caught yourself reverting to such a breathing? Could you notice the same as I could? I noticed, due to the very shallow breathing, I got very stressed and very anxious about staying under the cold water. In the beginning, it even got so far that I had to step out of the cold water in order to be able to revert back to my normal breathing rhythm and reduce my stress and anxious. Bringing my rhythm back to the deep breathing, I felt more relaxed and less anxious straight away. Getting back to the deep breath also made it possible for me to step back under the cold water and complete my cold shower of the morning. Sometimes I have to step out a couple of times to get my rhythm, but every day I have done it, it felt more natural to pay attention on my breathing and strongly believe that I started to improve my ability to control my stress and my anxiety barely by changing the way I breathe. So the huge impact of the cold showers for me every morning is not the impressive health benefits of the cold showers and what that they bring with, but the mindfulness towards my breathing, the awareness that I'm in control of any situation, and by merely changing the way I breathe in certain situations, I can gain back control and feel better as a result. Can you think of 3 situations in your life where you feel stressed easily, even anxious at times? I would like you to pick one situation, the one you're most afraid of. You got it? Now the hard part begins. The next time you are in that situation, pay attention on how you breathe. You will most likely see the same as I described earlier. Your breath will become shallower and less deep, which will give you that feeling of stress and increased anxiety. Alone through the fact that you become aware of this change, you will be able to influence the feeling and the way you breathe. I'm not saying that it will be easy to make those changes and influence the feelings through your breath, but you will become aware of the impact your breath has, and that will make your motivation stronger to get in control of your breath and control you will gain over a level of stress and anxiety you can feel. To get to an end of this episode, I can tell you that it's not easy to change. Nothing, really nothing, worth having in life comes easy. But by putting in the reps, bringing your awareness towards things which which are positive, and the positive things in any situation you have lived through and the situation you're about to face, you will notice how much more positive things will happen in your life and how much more control you will be able to build solely by thinking positive and being aware of your own feelings and thoughts. Think positive daily and you will have a positive life. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Max Röck. And until next time.